People are packing their bags and ditching the big cities for smaller ones, leaving those metropolises with their taxes and pricey coffee. Here are the top 5 American states people are fleeing to in 2026 and why. Americans are constantly on the move, with many leaving their home states in search of better opportunities, lower living costs, or a change in scenery. In this case, Massachusetts seems to have gotten on the bad side of its citizens, as they are trooping out of that state in numbers. Massachusetts, a state that boasts one of the best healthcare and educational systems, is also a destination where tourism thrives. However, lately it's been experiencing a population deficit. It doesn't seem like even good healthcare and education are a reason good enough for people to stay. So why then are people eagerly leaving Massachusetts? According to a survey carried out by United Van Lines, about 24.5% of its population has left Massachusetts for better job opportunities in other states. Another reason for this massive movement is the high cost of living, such as housing, taxes, and groceries, which are primary factors. But at the top of the list is tax policy. Tax concerns span across all income brackets. 56.6% of all respondents cited taxes as a reason for leaving Massachusetts. And while the cost of living is through the roof, Illinois is on another level. The presence of Chicago, one of the country's most prominent cities, makes Illinois an enviable place to live. Chicago is a national railroad hub. The city's O'Hare International Airport is among the world's busiest, and Illinois highways and waterways are thick with commercial traffic. The diversified nature of its economy is one thing that makes it a standout state. Its strength in manufacturing, agriculture, finance, mining, transportation, government, technology, and services including tourism all make Illinois a microcosm of the national economy. This diversity generally provides greater stability at times when other states with more narrowly based industries suffer. So what could be the reason for the population crisis? Well, things like high taxes are a huge burden on the citizens, including state income tax, the retiree tax, and property tax. All these have the capacity to keep one's bank account in a constant red. This adds to the burden of those who remain in the state, because as high-income residents leave due to tax burdens, Illinois faces a shrinking tax base, which often leads to higher taxes on those who remain. This creates a cycle of tax increases that further incentivizes out-migration, which now affects the economy of the entire state. But that's far from the beginning, because now citizens are faced with the ever-increasing cost of housing, utility bills, and even healthcare, making the idea of moving an exciting one. Other factors include the harsh winter weather, declining educational systems, decline in the job market, and the political climate of the state. All these factors have made moving out the next best thing. But if Illinois proved that taxes are the real issues, New York raised the bar higher. The average American moves about 11 times throughout their life, according to Steinway Moving and Storage. But unfortunately, New York is the state where citizens are leaving almost daily. New York is the state where dreams come true and talents find expression. It's the largest and most influential American metropolis. Aside from that, it stands to be the most popular international state in the United States. Furthermore, New York is the most ethnically diverse, religiously varied, commercially driven, famously congested, and in the eyes of many, the most attractive urban center in the country. For over 2 centuries, it's been considered America's largest and wealthiest state. However, recently things seem to be going on a downward slope, as its citizens are moving out of the city in numbers. With all the prospects, advancement, and advantages that the state has, what then could be the reason for the decline in its population? In years past, as we saw in 2023, New York had the 4th highest cost of living in the US, with residents spending nearly $50K per year in housing, healthcare, taxes, food, and transportation, says Jack Griffin, CEO of Atlas Van Lines. As if that isn't bad enough, there's also the issue of the increasing crime rate. Lawmakers have pointed out that the increasing crime rate has the capacity to drive people out of the state. Also, there's a need for a warmer environment, which is why you'd find people moving to states like Texas. And if people are leaving New York due to an increase in crime rates, what will those in Florida do? Florida is the most populous of the southeastern part of the United States. The climate and scenery of the Sunshine State have long attracted enormous numbers of visitors. Tourism has surpassed agriculture and manufacturing as the main component of Florida's economy. This is because the prospect of employment in the state's rapidly growing service sector has drawn many immigrants, mostly from Latin America. Florida is the boating and fishing capital of the world. It's the theme park epicenter of the world. All of the titans of family entertainment are here: Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, Legoland, and Busch Gardens. However, all these beautiful aspects of the state haven't stopped people from leaving it. One of the reasons residents are moving out is due to the increase in housing insurance. In recent years, Florida has been hit by numerous hurricanes and other natural disasters, leading to increased insurance premiums and several insurance companies leaving the state entirely. Another reason is the increasing rate of hurricanes. The 2023 hurricane season alone saw 3 major storms and 7 hurricanes that caused damage in billions of dollars and displaced thousands of residents. Other factors include population congestion, an increase in housing costs, urbanization, which has led to beautiful scenery being replaced with buildings and traffic congestion, an increase in utility bills, and temperature. Well, if Florida is threatened by natural disasters, then California is on a whole new level. California is the 31st state of the United States of America, and as of 1960, it was the most populated state, with almost 40 million people who call it home. Often recognized for its glamorous Hollywood scene and breathtaking coastline, the iconic state of California is a treasure trove of intriguing historical structures, such as the world's largest trees, and beautiful sights, such as the famous watermelon snow. Aside from its huge population that supersedes that of Canada, it's famous for having over 300 ghost towns. The question is, if California has all these beautiful and intriguing qualities, why then are people moving out in droves? In just a year, the Golden State said goodbye to 239,575 residents. The primary reason is the outrageous cost of living. California is among the top 5 most expensive states to live in. An average home in California is about $773,000 according to Zillow. But that's not all. How about the high tax rates? California is recorded to have one of the highest tax rates at a whopping 12.3%, aside from the steep sales and gas taxes. And when you think it can't get any worse, then you realize that businesses are moving out of California because of these outrageous taxes. And because of that, the state is experiencing low job growth. But then you wonder what could be worse than that. Then you get hit by natural disasters and wildfires. Just this year, in January, California experienced one of its deadliest wildfires, leaving many displaced without their homes and properties. Could this be the end for these states? Or can anything be done to undo the damage already done?